Hello and welcome back to the second day of the extension activities. Today we're going to take what we did yesterday with the combining like terms and apply them to 1 and 2 step equations and inequalities. So I have this up here, this remember, make sure you're doing Jim Dawson diverse when you're actually trying to solve it. The steps look a little different now. We're still going to be starting off with drawing your river of love. Or Miss Prada does the train tracks if you have her. But for my problem, I'm going to draw that river of love because I need to remember what I do to one side of my equation or inequality, I also have to do to the other side. I need to keep it balanced. Then now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to combine our like terms. We're going to have to combine our like terms like we see in this problem. I have a 3x and a 2x. I need to combine those things before I do my inverse operations to solve. So 3x plus 2x would give me what? 5x's. So now I see my equation is really 15 is equal to 5x. After you combine those like terms, remember Jem Dawson reverse. So we're going to add or subtract. Is there any adding or subtracting to do here? There is not. So then we go to the multiplying or dividing. What operation is it when they're side by side like this? That's multiplication. And like we said before in the past, when we're doing these two steps, we need to do inverse or opposite operations. So if this is multiplication, what operation do I need to do to both sides? I need to divide both sides by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. The 5's cancel, so we get that x is equal to 3. And then as always, you can go back and check to see if that works. So let's check that out. We want to plug 3 in for each of these x's. So originally we had 15 is equal to 3 times our x, which was 3, plus 2 times our x, which again was 3. So I need to multiply before I add. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 times 3 is 6. Oh, Andrea, why'd I write a 3? What's 9 plus 6? 15. Does 15 equal 15? Yes, it does. So we're good there. You can always go back and check your work if you're not sure. Go ahead, try combining these like terms on your own before you solve for that inequality. Pause the video and then check it with me when you're done. This one kind of turned out a little ugly because we had a fraction or decimal with it. But when you combine your like terms, you should get negative 2x minus 2. Subtract or add to both sides, got to use those inverse operations. So we get negative 2x is less than or equal to 3. Then I'm dividing by negative 2. Remember, when you divide by a negative on inequalities, you got to flip that sign. So we should get x is greater than or equal to negative 3 halves, or x is greater than or equal to negative 1.5. That's kind of hard to see that negative on there. Let me rewrite that for you. Negative 1.5. And again, you can always go back, check your work, plug that in for your x's. I'm going to go on to this problem because this type of problem has been confusing people all year long. So we're going to start off with our river of love like you know we do. We got to combine our like terms. Here, all my like terms are up top. That 2 at the bottom, that has nothing to do with those like terms. That's its own separate thing. We're not going to combine him with anything. We're going to combine those like terms up top. So for my x's, we have a positive x plus 4x. So what's that going to combine to? That's going to be 5x's total. And that minus 3, there's nothing to combine that with, so that's going to stay the same. All that's going to be over 2, and that's equal to 5. Now we can go back and solve it. Remember, when we're solving problems like this, We're doing Sad Meg. We're doing GEMDOS in reverse. GEMDOS in reverse is Sad Meg. So we've already combined our like terms. So then we add and subtract. Is there any adding and subtracting to do first? Hold your horses, because this up top is a special kind of grouping at the end. We have to save that stuff up top because that's a special kind of grouping at the end. There is no subtraction and addition to do for this step. Then we go on to multiplication and division. When it's on top and bottom, what operation is that? Dividing by 2. The opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying times 2. So the 2's on this side cancel. You're left with that 5x minus 3 in the grouping. 5 times 2 is 10. Are there any exponents for us to take care of? No. So now we go back to this top grouping that we had. So now inside of this grouping, we subtract and add. We go back to that. We add 3 to both sides. We get 5x is equal to 13. And then we do that multiplication and division. We divide both sides by 5. This one's turning out ugly too. Sorry about that. So the 5's cancel. We get x equals 13 divided by 5, or, because that's a fraction, or you could do x equals 2 3/5, or you could do 2.6 for what x equals. Any of those answer choices are still correct. Sorry, those two are kind of ugly, but you need that challenge of seeing things that don't come out pretty, I guess. If you have any questions on this, please send us an email. We'd love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, go ahead and go on to the activity.